Hey guys, how you doing? I hope everything is well. Everything is good with me. Y'all, yes, I've been going for a while. I was sick. Y'all know I had surgery. And I'm getting back to normal, trying to, do my physical therapy, um, to have your back split open. It's really, really, really tough. So um, I'm trying to come back now. So I miss y'all and I'm here. So I wanted to get into the story that was really like that had me. Her name is Ann Kepler. She was the 18-year-old that went on the Carnival cruise with her family. At first, they said that she went on the cruise with her mom and her stepmom, and that she wasn't feeling good that night. The day before they were coming back home. So she excused herself from the table and she went to her room. So they said that the next day that everybody got up for breakfast, that she did not come to breakfast. So they said one of the cleaning women that went into her room to, straighten up her room or whatever, had found her body. She was underneath the bed, wrapped up in the blanket, and life jackets was thrown underneath to try to conceal her body. So now the new thing is that they didn't say this from the beginning. That when they went on this here Carnival cruise ship, that the father, the stepmother, and her stepchildren went. hmm So now they're implicating, saying that they think that one of her sons did this to Anne. What's going on? Your son, her stepbrother, could be charged with her demise. Like, that's crazy. They didn't say that. I'm telling y'all, they didn't say that at first. They said the stepmom, her, and her dad went, and they said, matter of fact, this is her second Carnival cruise ship within this year. So, everybody just felt like, I ain't even gonna lie, y'all. I jumped to conclusions. I was like, I think it was one of the crew people, because when they said the life jackets was thrown, well, she was tied, wrapped up in the blanket and under the bed, and life jackets was, thrown over her. So I ain't gonna lie, I was just like, I think it's one of the crew members. You know what I'm saying? That she was by herself. She went back to her room. You got this cruise line. This cruise line is huge, y'all. I think it got like 15 tiers. 15. 4,000 people on there. So you already know, like, going back to your room by yourself, it's not safe. Like, there's no law there. So basically, you on your own there. So that's what I was thinking, y'all. I was thinking that maybe, one of the crew members did it. I was like, oh snap! But now they're coming out saying that she came there with her stepchildren. Like, how old? But they won't say the ages of the stepchildren, because I'm like, well, how old is they? You know what I'm saying? Like, how old is these stepkids that would do something like that to their stepsister? But they said they had they got into a little thing here. Let me just read y'all something. They said who excuse me. They said teen who died on the Carnival cruise was found under the bed. They said stepbrother under investigation. So this is another thing I wanted to say. They saying like the stepbrother, if he did do this here to his stepsister, did the mother know? Like, if she knew if they had a problem, with each other, did she know? Because this is weird. This is weird. Why would you bring? I mean, we ain't talking about a fight. Sister and sister and step, whatever, have a fight or whatever. We talk about murder here. We're talking about murder. Like, he literally went in her room and had to catch her off guard to take her down. And like I said, they're not telling the ages of her stepchildren because she actually is going to court with her husband about the children. So right now, basically, because the FBI had to get involved. So I don't know if they even, excuse me, y'all. I don't know now, being that her son is under investigation, one of her children is under investigation for the demise of Anne. I don't know if they would take her children from her. You understand? And plus, she's already going to court with the father for the custody of the children. So I don't know how they're gonna go. I'm gonna be real with you. I don't know how they're gonna go. But they said she had asked for. She's supposed to have like tomorrow, and she was trying to put it off with the judge, because of this situation right here that he's under investigation. So I give it to Carnival because I felt like this was really quick, and I already knew that Carnival had good cameras. You understand? Because they had upgraded their system, so they actually probably seen the brother go in the room. So let's just read this anyway. They said Ann Kaplan, a teen who died aboard a Carnival Horizon cruise ship early this month, was found underneath a bed, wrapped in a blanket and covered by life vests. According to a security source brief on the investigations, the 18-year-old cheerleader from Florida was reported dead while aboard the Carnival Horizon cruise ship on November the 8th. The Miami-Dade medical examiner has not specified a cause of manner of her death. Among the avenue, investigations are looking at whether there might be some sort of altercation with her stepbrother prior to her demise. The sources told ABC News investigators are also looking at other possibilities, including a medical emergency or an overdose. That was thrown out. That was thrown out. That was thrown out. But my thing is this here. They, like I said, they're not trying to tell you the ages of her children. You know what I'm saying? Because they said she has 3 children, and the 3 children went. So they definitely not going to do that. And like I said, I don't know if they had an altercation before they went on a cruise or while they was on the cruise, but it got so crazy to where you wanted to kill your stepsister, like get out the way. That's kind of crazy, but I feel like this here. I'm just gonna say this here. I believe if it's her son, one of her sons, I believe that boy had a problem anyway. I believe he had a problem. I believe something was wrong with that boy anyway. Because there's no way that this boy waited to go on a cruise and just went in this girl's room and murdered her. Mm-mm. I believe something was wrong with this boy. That I just don't believe that he was that, he was that jealous that he would murder his stepsister. I believe something else went on. I believe this was an ongoing thing. You understand? I believe it was an ongoing thing. So let me just finish reading this here. They said, let me finish. Investigators are prying over ship security records, including security cameras footage and access to card swipes to get pictures of who and where with various times prior to her demise. A court filing and related family court matter noted Kaplan step siblings could face charges. Sibling. They said sibling, not siblings. Sibling. It was one of them probably. The the filing said the FBI is conducting an investigation out of sudden death of the 18-year-old Ann Kaplan. They said Hudson Kaplan's stepmother, who also on the cruise, also along with her children, and Kaplan's father request delay in the custody hearing because of one of her minor children may face criminal charges. So if they're saying that one of her children may that she's telling the court like because I told you she's supposed to go to court because she already was going to court with her the children's father. I think they were fighting for custody or whatever the case may be. So she's asking for like a delay or whatever the case may be. And she's saying because one of her kids could be, charged with hurting, Anne. I think he did. I think he did because I don't think she would have said that. The response has been advised through discussions with FBI investigations and her attorney that a criminal case may be against one of her minor children that insists in instant action. The filing stated any testimony of response may give either written or oral could incriminate her or her adults. This she must have been messing with him. Adultery. She must have been messing with him. The Ann's father while she was still married. So adultery. Okay. They said children in the pending criminal investigation. Therefore, the respondent cannot be compelled to testify. He's saying the mom can't, she may not testify. Carnival Cruise Line said in a statement after Kaplan's death, our focus is on supporting the family and our guests and cooperating with the FBI. Kaplan's family did not immediately respond to the news request for comment. Of course they're not. But anyway, y'all, I want to just show y'all real quick. Like, I don't know which one of these here is her children, but I'm kind of guessing that big one up there, because if that little one right there did it, he Damien or something, I'm like, what the hell? Hold on. So these are her, they said 3 of these here children is her children. I do not know which 3. They're not saying which ones. They're not going to tell which ones. So I don't know if it's that big one back there, or is it this one here that has his hands crossed. You understand? Because he's a little boy. He look kind of small. I ain't saying he can't take her down, because if she was sleeping, he could have. But that's just messed up, y'all. So it's either that big one back there or this little one right here that got his hands crossed. That look like he's standing way away from them. Right, y'all? Y'all can see that.
And Trent Kelly is live in Port Miami with those details. Trent.
We know that teenager was on board a Carnival cruise ship that departed here from Port Miami more than 2 weeks ago. Sadly, she was found dead on board that ship several days later. While many details surrounding her death have not been released by investigators, we are learning from some newly filed court documents that teen was on board the ship with her family at the time, and that the suspect in her death is one of her own step-siblings. New details surrounding the mysterious death of an 18-year-old on board a Carnival cruise ship that left from South Florida. 18-year-old Anna Kepner was found dead on the Carnival Horizon back on November 7th, the ship returning to Port Miami as scheduled the next day. We're learning the FBI field office in Miami is now investigating the circumstances leading up to her death and that the suspect is Kepner's 16-year-old step-sibling. According to court documents addressed to Kepner's stepmother in an unrelated family court case, quote, the respondent took the remaining minor children on a cruise ship with a stepchild of her paramour. The 16-year-old child is now a suspect in the death of the stepchild during the cruise. Another document saying a criminal case may be initiated against one of the kids. Because the death happened in international waters, the FBI is in charge of the investigation, but so far, agents have not released any information on a possible suspect or said how Kepner died. In a statement, Carnival Cruise Line says they are fully cooperating with the investigation, adding that the FBI has advised there is no related threat to safety as the ship sails its current voyage. And according to those court documents, that step sibling is now residing or living with a third party as this investigation continues. Meantime, according to an online obituary, Kepner was from the Titusville area. Her family now planning to hold a remembrance of her life tomorrow night in that area.
So yeah, y'all see, he was 16 years old. He was 16 years old. This boy done lost his mind. He done killed his stepsister, 18-year-old Ann, for what, like, how serious could the argument been that he had to kill her on a cruise ship? And I really believe that, something was going on in the household. Like, I really believe that, and they knew that. They knew that something was going on between her and this stepson, 16 years old, her stepbrother, and they still brought them together. And this here little boy sneaked on a ship with 4,000 people and killed his stepsister. And did it so crazy because he actually wrapped her up in the blanket, like I said, and put her underneath the bed and then put life jackets. So they seen him do it. They got cameras. They seen him do it. This is really sad. My heart goes out to the family of this young lady because she was a good person. She was really a good person. She was an honor student when she graduated. She was an honor student. She didn't deserve this here. And she loved, you could tell she just loved, you know, when she go out, you could just tell she just make people happy because she's like always smiling. This is really sad. This is really sad, y'all. So anyway, like I said, my heart goes out to her family. I wish this did not happen, and I don't know what the stepmother gonna do, but your son, allegedly did this to your stepdaughter. So you would definitely have to testify. I don't even know why they put them together when they knew that this boy probably had a problem. I believe he had a problem before this here situation anyway. Because there's no way that you just have an argument with your stepbrother or, or your stepsister and you be like, I'm gonna murder you. Like, I'm gonna murder you, like, for real, for real. Like, really? Yeah, okay. But you see what they said, that he's not even staying with them. I think they need to take all the children. I think they really need to take all the children. Because I believe something, this did not just happen that day that they went on this cruise. I believe this was an ongoing thing, that they was having a problem. And I really blame, the stepmother, because you should not have, put them together when especially if he had a problem. Like, I really believe he had a problem, y'all. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. But anyway, y'all, I'm going to go. And if I don't hear from y'all or y'all hear from me, y'all have a good Thanksgiving. I'm giving out some turkeys tomorrow. Yes, I'm giving out some turkeys where I live at. I cannot handle them, but I'm going to be there. You know, I'm there every year. So everybody calling me like, you gonna be, I'm gonna be there. So, you know, I think I'm gonna talk to y'all before Thanksgiving anyway. So y'all, I love y'all, and I'm healing, and y'all have a good night, y'all. Peace. All right. See y'all.